Good afternoon from Uiseong, Korea. We're here for the second women's semifinal at the Pacific Asia Curling Championships 2016. I'm Hans Frauenlob. I'm joined by world mixed curling champion Sander Rolvåg of Norway. Good afternoon to you, Sander.
Good afternoon.
And we've got a cracker of a semi for you this afternoon. We've got Japan versus China. They had a fantastic round-robin game against each other, came down to the last shot, and this is for entrance into the gold medal game. So let's meet the teams. Here's Team Japan. At lead is Yorika Yoshida. Yumi Suzuki is at second stone. Chinami Yoshida plays at third. And their skip is Satsuki Fujisawa. Marimoto Hashi is the alternate, and JD Lind is their coach.
And the lineup for Team China. At lead we have Yong Yang. At second is Yinli Liu. At third is Yan Zhou. And the team is skipped by Bingyu Betty Wang. Alternate is Ye Mei, and the team is coached by Wei Dong Tan.
So let's have a look at how these teams got here. 8 teams started. Korea, China, Japan, all at 6-1. New Zealand qualified at 4-3. Rounding out the round-robin field were Australia, Hong Kong, Kazakhstan, and first-timers from Qatar. So we know Korea is through to the gold medal match. We can see there that they defeated New Zealand earlier today. They await the winner of this game, China versus Japan, and New Zealand will play the loser of this game in the bronze medal match. So we're getting down to the sharp end of this competition now, Sander, and as we come inside the Uiseong Curling Center, we saw the most dramatic round-robin game possible between these two teams earlier this week.
Yeah, well, tight game, came down to the last shot of the extra end. Team China and Wang Bingyu running out of time while sitting in the hack ready to throw. It was quite the shocker. And although we're not hoping for any teams to run out of time today, I think we're both hoping for the same kind of action as we had.
Well, certainly right. So Bingyu Wang running out of time versus the Koreans, and then Japan having a stone pick up on their last shots as well to end the game. So drama aplenty. We see the stone colors. Japan will be playing the red stones. China will be playing the yellow stones. China, the higher ranked team between the two, will have last rock advantage here on end number 1. So getting us underway is Japan, and their lead is Yorika Yoshida.
Well, what's certain is that
happens. So let's see if that's going to happen again here today on Friday here in Uiseong. Teams trying to not only win the Pacific Asia Curling Championships, but qualify in for the World Women's Curling Championships in March. Here is Chinese lead Yang Ying. China is guaranteed a berth at the Women's Worlds because they will be the host nation. Nose hit there, conservative opener for this match. So let's have a look at the rules of play for today. 8 ends minimum, 10 ends scheduled. Each team has 38 minutes to play their shots, and each team has one 60-second timeout where they can call their coach onto the playing surface.
Well, with so much on the line, that's why you might see a cautious first end here, just running down a few stones to settle the nerves and get comfortable. Also running down the clock a little bit so they'll have more time for the remaining 9 ends if they play a blank one here.
Yoshida hits half a rock, rolls out. Yeah, it never hurts to bank a little clock early in the game if you can. There's Wang Bingyu. Betty Wang, 2009 Women's World Champion, as well as an Olympic medalist. So she's been away from the ice for a couple of years as she starts to raise her family, but back on the competitive circuit again this year, and we're glad to see her. She's a fantastic competitor. China sweeping this one into the ring, so both teams playing this first end really cautiously. Here is Japanese second stone, Yumi Suzuki. Yoshida and Yoshida having a little giggle there as they swept down the ice. But they hit and stick. There's Chinese second stone, Lu Jinli. Hit and stick. Some very straightforward play here in the first. I would expect after an end of two, perhaps, of this type of play, Sander will, one team or the other will elect to mix it up.
Yeah, I think so. Good chance to go and get those snacks you didn't have time to get before the game started. Get the pizza out of the oven.
Oh my goodness, Suzuki blows it by, so. Big surprise, we saw her miss a hit or two earlier in the week as well.
Well, snacks can wait.
Yeah.
All of a sudden there's a...
Grab your popcorn and sit down. We got a chance for a deuce here all of a sudden.
Exactly.
Yang and Joe sweeping it into the back 8 foot. Might be a cross house double there. The angle is a bit awkward, but makeable. Should probably be looking to roll in front of that backstone.
Well, we've seen Japan attempt these doubles before, and she did call it right away. We'll see. Not taking much ice here, so I'm assuming they're going for it. And in all honesty, playing the perfect hit and roll, is it that much harder than make the double?
Well, if you're going to kill one and you're going over there anyways, as you said, Sandorovag, you might as well kill two. So here's Chinami Yoshida trying to do just that. They've got the one, but they were caught in the twilight zone between those two shots, and they roll across the top. They needed to hit that one a little bit thinner to make the double.
That's easy to be a little bit safe, though. First end of a semi-final. Not wanting to flash your first shot and get the 3 in play.
Yeah, that would have been disastrous for the Japanese. Dropping 2 would be bad enough. Here is Zhao Yan trying to split the house for China. An unexpected early miss from Suzuki has resulted in an opportunity for China to score 2. Nice touch here from the Chinese. Split the house and get them set up pretty parallel, so no chance for a double now.
Yeah, well, definitely after seeing Japan calling the double, you're going to make sure you put them level on your next one.
Good shot there from Zhao. So now Yoshida down the weight a little bit and try to save her shooter and just close the house up a little bit.
Get over, just check over to the center line here. Be pretty good. It'd be hard for China not to play hit and roll back and not leave a double.
Right on the nose.
Yeah, that works okay too, because China, if they play another nose hit here, again, there will be an angle for a double. If they could ever just roll a foot to the wing, it'd be really good.
So China with the upper hand here on end number 1. Zhao Yan. Need to save the shooter. Just get a tiny outside roll. And China lies too, so better chance now for the Japanese. As Sanders said, that stone has come further forward in the rings. The angle's better for the Japanese.
It's pretty flat still, though.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you have called a double here.
Yeah, pretty happy to roll it right into that area that we just saw Yoshida indicating. So now it's the turn of Japanese skip Satsuki Fujisawa to try and close the house up a bit. Big weight. Like to hit about 3/4. Oh, look at this. Pumps the Chinese stone sideways, almost out of the rings. Wow, well, that was almost an amazing flat double takeout. Fujisawa looking at that stone. So this was very flat, but look at this. Comes straight across the house. Pushes the Chinese stone, but not quite out of the 12-foot. But those stones are much closer together now. So a very nice shot there from Fujisawa. This Japanese team were the silver medalists at the 2016 Women's World Championships at Swift Current, Saskatchewan. That was the very first time that a Japanese team had ever medaled at a World Championship. Here is Chinese skip Wang Bingyu.
If you ever played just a hit and roll to just cross the center line, I don't think there will be a double for Japan.
No, nice shot there by Bingyu.
Well, needed to roll under 2 feet. Pretty sure the double's on here for Fujisawa.
We saw them lining it up right away, didn't we? You should have saying, if we roll there, that's okay. So 2 options here. They hit it a little bit too thick. They could roll in front of the Chinese shot, and they get the angle just right. They can make the double kill.
That's about the same shot as on the first one here.
It is. So can Satsuki Fujisawa bail Japan out? Right on the nose, so right out of hand they were screaming, so that was a bit tight, and now it's a relatively straightforward nose hit for Wang Bingyu to score 2, and the Chinese, that's the best possible start. We see the Yoshida, Suzuki, and Fujisawa looking on. That miss from Yumi Suzuki is coming back to haunt the Japanese. It was looking like a very straightforward first end, but that miss opened the door here for Wang Bingyu, and let's see on the last stone of the first end whether she can convert. Little roll there, but no problem for Team China. So they're off to the races. A big deuce in the first end. So China in this crucial semifinal, after 1 end of play, have a 2-0 lead. So after throwing a deuce on the board in the first end, Yang Yin gets us underway here in the second. Sander, it was looking like a pretty straightforward conservative first end, but Suzuki flashes a hit and all of a sudden China grabs a deuce.
Yeah, you really can't afford to make mistakes like that. So just a full fresh from Suzuki. And we've seen a couple in this week.
Uncharacteristic because she's normally very reliable on hits, and she's been a bit wayward this week, so that might put the Japanese into aggressive offense mode a little bit earlier than they were expecting to, Sander.
Yeah, they probably just want to try and score 2 back as quick as they can. Fujisawa had a really good chance with their last one to play the double 2. Couldn't quite pull it off.
Yeah, she had the very tough double attempt on her first one. Cross house almost made it. Second one was a bit cozier, but she nosed it, so open hit for Betty Wang, and she made it easily. So China now with 1 stone in the back of the 8-foot. I'm going to ask Yang Ying to throw another one into the rings, I'm sure. This is a different lineup for Team China than that 2009 World Champion lineup. New player and players playing at different positions, so I know, Sander, when you were interviewing Wang Binyu earlier in the week, she was saying that it is a new lineup and they're still getting used to how each other are playing, but I'd say they're getting pretty good results in the early going.
Yeah, doing well so far, but there's always room for improvement, Hans.
Oh, is it another open miss for the Japanese? Yes, it is. My goodness. This time, Eureka Yoshida flashes a hit. So, very slow start for the Japanese, and now China's got a great chance to guard those stones up and really apply the pressure to the Japanese. If they were able to steal this end and get a 3-point lead, that would give them fantastic early control. So they do indeed make the guard. Liu Junli. So now Yumi Suzuki, after flashing in the first, has a bit of a shot at redemption here. She can bail out her teammate. Fujisawa looking for her to rip that guard. There's one. Well, she moves all 3 rocks, but still leaves them lined up. It's an improvement, though.
A little bit unlucky there. He was a red guard, though, so next time they'll be running it in. I'll be running in the red stone, which always helps.
Liu Junli. Great communications between the Chinese line caller and sweepers. And it comes to rest right in front of their own stone, almost perfectly frozen. That's a great shot. Going to be very difficult for the Japanese to remove. So they looked at the run back, but looks to me like Suzuki is going to make a play at those stones in the rings. Yoshida and Yoshida on the brushes. They're by the guard. Knows it, corner frees it. That's a great result. Nice shot, Yumi. So China's lying one, but that redstone corner frozen in front of it means big danger for China. Zhao Yun. This one looks about T-line weight. It's going to get a little bit of separation. Oh, that's a pretty nice stone too. So the Chinese just repositioning the stones with quiet weight, changing the angles. So what will we see here from Japan, Sander?
Of course, it's the run back.
Almost seems like it's their favorite shot sometimes, doesn't it? They love playing the run backs.
Well, they're always very close too.
Here's Janami Yoshida. Trying to hold the line. Gets a piece, moving stones all over the place. Fujisawa alertly sweeping, watches the other one as well, trying to decide which one should I sweep. Great job there by Janami Yoshida. Laughing at her skip, trying to figure out how to be in two places at once. Fujisawa, watch, she looks behind her to see where the other stone is going as she's sweeping. There's the run back. Great job by the Japanese front end holding the line. Fujisawa sweeping while she can only watch the other stone and hope it creeps out of the rings, and it does. So that's a good turnaround in the end for Team Japan.
A really nice shot. And just to be clear, only one person is allowed to sweep in behind the T-line, so they couldn't have one player per rock there.
But she is allowed to attempt to use telekinetic powers to try and move the other stone out, right?
That is true. I've not read anything about that in the WCF rulebook.
So that one slides through, so a bit of a break here for the Japanese. Can they capitalize?
I feel like you see that very often, though, when a team makes a really good shot to turn their end around, the next shot from the opponent is a miss.
Yeah.
Like they're just stunned and just
a bit wobbly after that sudden turnaround. And regardless, it's a good chance here for the Japanese now. So Yoshida, after throwing that big weight run back, now has to dial it back to make a delicate come-around shot. Well by, and it looks like it's got lots of weight. They're going to play the backstone instead, so this one's heavy as well, and I think it's going to slide right by. Wow, wow. The path fooled Zhao Yan, and now it's fooled Janami Yoshida. Two draws into the hat, back to back. Fujisawa can only rue the missed opportunity. Ice conditions have been very quick here at the Uiseong Curling Center, but really have to do better than that if they're going to want to win this game against former world champion Wang Binyu. So now it's a chance for Wang to draw around that red guard stone. She's seen two rocks go through the ring, so I'm sure she'll be making a mental adjustment. Plenty of weight. Stone really gliding. Or as they say in Norway, it's got lots of sig.
Correct.
It's my third word of Norwegian. I think it's skihoppe. Sig.
That's two very useful words there. Hans, carry in curling terms.
Yes.
And ski jumping.
It's a start. What Satsuki Fujisawa wants to be after this shot, of course, is Ichiban. She wants to be first shot.
We had one really good shot and tons of half shots.
Stone of Wang's going deep, so Fujisawa's turn to try and use that guard. She's watched 3 stones in a row sliding deep. And this one too. Has lots of steam. Can they freeze it? No, it's going to over curl the first one and under curl the second one. Comes to rest. And the back 8 foot. Hear a little exclamation from Satsuki there. It's obviously fooling all of the players, Sander, the sweepers, the throwers. It's surprising them. It's about 4 or 5 feet quicker than all of them are expecting it to be.
Well, we had this talk earlier in the week, Hans, that it's really important for a team to be able to trust each other.
Yep.
So when one player throws a rock and that player says, oh, it's about 6 feet quicker than it was yesterday, you know, the next player just going to have to try and trust that and just throw it a little softer.
Yes.
And, you know, but it's hard. It is a little hard.
That's true, because your mind and the things you're reading on the stopwatch are telling you one thing, and then you're getting extra input, and you have to switch off what your brain is telling you and do something different. So Wang Bingyu now, she's of course already thrown one down this path, so she believes it because she's thrown it. Have to get by the guard first. Are they by the guard? Yes, they're by the guard, but now what's the line like? Have they got contact on that Japanese stone, or have they overcurled? Oh, they just punch it through the hole. Great result there for the Chinese, but it was looking dangerous for a minute. And now Japan is going to be forced to take 1 point. Here we see on the replay. Thought it might overcurl the red, but it gets just enough to push it through the hole and leaves her own stone sitting in the back of the 12-foot. So no choice here for Japan but to draw for 1. And boy, the way we've seen these stones sliding down this outturn path in this end, there are no certainties on a draw. So it's the last stone of end number 2. Sweepers think the weight is all there. Stone slides to the tee line and comes to rest in the back 4-foot. So nice adjustment there from Satsuki Fujisawa. Good clutch draw there under pressure. She had lots of backing, but you still have to make it. But moral victory for Team China. They forced Japan here in the second. So after 2 ends of play, China gets the hammer in the third. It is China 2 and Japan 1. So Japan on the scoreboard now, and Yurika Yoshida here to get us underway here on end number 3. So a couple of interesting ends to get us underway, Sander, but they're kind of unusual ends as well. Lots of misses and half shots and missed opportunities.
Yeah, I'm sure the teams will adjust. If it's maybe just a tad quicker today, it might be it. Still quite early in the game. Maybe some nerves.
There's a lot riding on this, isn't there? Not only a trip to the gold medal match, but a chance to clinch a place in the World Championships. Here's Yang Ying.
It's a little different too. Like we discussed the first semi-final today. Only one game going on. Just a whole different feeling. And also, like, you know, that could affect the ice somehow too. If there's only one game going on, ice maker would have to do some adjustments probably. And but I'd say if it's quicker,
It's a good thing.
that's a good thing. It's better. It just might take a little tiny bit of adjustment, but it's all part of the game too. So the teams are good at adjusting to the ice conditions, or you know, the best curling team. So
I couldn't agree more. I think the ability to adjust and read ice is a bit of a lost art in our sport. So you're exactly right, Sander.
the ice is almost too good.
Yes. Yeah, playing conditions magnificent here in Uiseong. Chief ice technician Mark Callan and his excellent local crew have done a great job preparing the surface here this week. Yoshida gets a piece. Does she hang around? Yes, she does. Just grabs a piece of the 12-foot. The Women's Worlds is a qualifier for the Winter Olympics in 2018, which will be held here in Korea. Japan, by virtue of their second place finish at Women's Worlds last year, hauled in a reasonably good chunk of Olympic qualification points, so they may not be guaranteed a place in Pyeongchang, but awfully close to. A great sweep there from Setsuki Fujisawa takes that stone out of play. China, on the other hand, did not make Women's Worlds last year, so 2017 Women's Worlds will be a home game for them, and Wang Bingyu's team will be looking to get as many points as they can to get China into that Olympic field. Second stone, Yumi Suzuki. Women's Worlds is a 12-nation event, whereas the Winter Olympics are a 10-nation competition. So a bit less room on the dance floor for nations wanting to be there. Now they seem to have adjusted the weight nicely. T-line weight there from Suzuki. And there we see in the upper left of our screen, Mark is such a fantastic ice maker that they've decided to put a picture of him on the scoreboard. High praise indeed from the Uiseong locals. Here's Lu Jinli.
Watch out for the back yellow here.
There's a risk of a jam.
There could be.
Oh, just sneaks past it safely. China lies one. Lu Jinli said, yeah, had it all the way.
They're wanting a roll to the wing, but you couldn't roll too far because the jam would be in play.
So the red center guard belongs to Japan. China with the hammer here on end number 3.
A bit of a cat and mouse end. Just Japan needing a perfect roll. China looking to roll away. This one hanging out there.
No inside roll here. She got contact right on the nose. So Japanese just looking for that one shot to really light it up and get them going. They haven't had it yet. Although that raised double clear by Yoshida in the last end was a thing of beauty. Well, they get a nice little outside roll there, so Chinese are gradually able to creep that stone further and further away from that center guard. We saw that right from the beginning of the end, Wang Bingyu was taking the play away from that center guard. So she's got a plan. Here is Chinami Yoshida. Suzuki Yoshida sweeping it hard. Does it stay on the rings? Just. So I think that one fooled them a little bit. I think they thought it might track straight, but over-curled. But with that stone being way out on the edge of the sheet, makes it a little bit trickier for Xiaoyan to hit. Way out in the weeds. Oh, very nicely done. Rolls it into a piece of the forefoot. I mentioned that round robin game earlier in the week where Japan really had control right through the game until the very final stone, and their last draw picked up and China stole the win, but it was a game that the Japanese were very unlucky to lose. And this game kind of has the opposite feel in the early going. Feels like China's got the ascendancy and the Japanese are the ones that are struggling. Habanai, that's dangerous in Japan, so Japanese.
Well, she was a bit lucky there. It caught the backing and stuck around. If that rolled out, you'd probably see China just peel the guard.
So a bit of good fortune there for the Japanese. Here's Xiaoyan. Wants to stick around, doesn't want to give the Japanese a chance to use that guard. Right on the nose, good stone. Satsuki Fujisawa. Rock's making a sudden move on them, and have they left it too long for the sweep? They need to save it. Oh, they get a little inside roll, so it's tucked behind the guard. Nice stone there from the Japanese. Thought they'd lost it.
I'd say it's pretty well buried.
So very nice result here for Japan. Deep in the house, but there we get a great look at it from our hack end camera. Almost fully buried. So Wang Bingyu will be able to make a play at it, but she's going to have to play quiet weight.
Yeah, the key here is to stick around. Never hit and roll out. You give Japan a free draw around the center guard.
Yeah, that stone's been there the whole end. There's Wang Bingyu. Trying to sweep it for curl now, trying to get this stone to curl more. Will it stick around? Japanese desperately trying to get it out of the house, but it just clings on. Means that the Japanese won't get the chance to use that guard for a come around. They're going to have to make a play on the stone in the back.
1811ちょっと久しぶりに外から行くからパッとつけてていいかも。1811
It's little things like that, Sandra, that can make a difference in a match, can't it? I mean, very alert sweeping by the Chinese there, sweeping for the curl as the rock was coming down in weight, and maybe just that tiniest little bit of extra curl they got kept that stone in the rings. Here's Fujisawa. Must stick around. The force. Still has to curl a bit for their liking. Right on the nose. Nice shot.
So chance for China to blank this end and retain the last stone advantage coming into the fourth end.
Put them on the even ends with hammer. Still early-ish in the game, but a bit of a consideration.
Yeah, if I could choose to score 2 in the third or fourth, I'd pick the fourth. But things usually change. Usually another blank or a steal in there somewhere.
So this is the last stone of end number 3 for Wang Bingyu of China. Trying to blank. Noses it though. And so an unexpected force of 1 for the Japanese. Wang Bingyu was trying to hit and roll away to keep the hammer, but over curls and noses it, stays in the rings, so it's a point for China, but Japan breathes a sigh of relief. They get the hammer back, but China leads it after 3 ends of play. It's China 3, Japan 1. There's Yang Ying, the Chinese lead, getting us underway on end number 4. So let's see if Team Japan can take advantage of that failed blank attempt by Wang Bingyu and turn the hammer into a deuce, and that would tie the game up. Nice weight control there by Yang, just to the back of the button. Yurika Yoshida. Semi-final Friday here from Uiseong, Korea. Women's event here in the Pacific Asia Curling Championships 2016. Winner of this match will advance to the gold medal game against the host country, Korea. That'll be played tomorrow. We'll be carrying it live. The loser of this game will play the bronze medal match against New Zealand. Final stages of this tournament using the Olympic-style playoff format, where first plays against fourth and second plays against third. Winners advance, losers drop to the bronze medal match. That's the format they'll be playing in Pyeongchang, and of course at the Women's World Championships. Hard work on the brushing, trying to keep the line. So they push the Chinese stone deep in the house and jams both ways. Quite a gap there between the Japanese shot and the Chinese stones behind it. So chance for China to pick it out. Corner guard is set quite wide, so the Japanese will have to be in the 12-foot if they want to use that one. Liu Jinli. They do jam one of the rocks in the back, but just hit half of it. So I don't think Wang Bingyu is going to mind that too much, because those two stones in the back of the 8-foot were probably more useful for the Japanese than the Chinese, I think, Sander.
Yeah, it's not a big problem. Kept the best yellow one there, the shot stone. It's just nibbling the back of the 4, meaning if Japan comes around the corner, they won't have shot stone. Japan doesn't mind for now. No big danger on the center line. Only the one Chinese rock, and it's behind the tee line.
So that's well past the guard. Trying to sweep it now deeper in the house to get more curl.
Well, I do think we saw less curl coming at least this way in the semi-final this morning. Coming home towards the carpet.
Oh, that's true. This game is being played on the same sheet of ice as the 1v4 semifinal that we hope you enjoyed with us earlier today.
Well, if you watched our broadcast this morning, you would have known.
That's right. Stick with us, folks. Learn the ice with us. Enjoy the play with us. Coming to you live from Uiseong, Korea. So, chance here for Japan. That straight spot maybe catching Liu out, and just grazes a piece, but leaves the Japanese stone in the back of the 12-foot. So is this the chance for the Japanese to score too?
Well, Jinli has undercurled on a couple of outturns this week. She throws it pretty positive. Not necessarily a bad thing, but if she gets a tad too much ice, it's just never going to move.
So key shot here for Yumi Suzuki, trying to set this end up. Trying to capitalize on the Chinese miss. They want it to freeze. They don't really want it to bump. Oh, nice stone there by Yumi Suzuki. Almost a perfect freeze. Little angle there, so it is possible for China to pound it on the high side and squeeze it out, but that's a pretty good shot. Risk, of course, if China does jam it and rolls out themselves, then Japan goes around the corner guard again, and then China's looking at 3 all of a sudden. Choosing the out turn. Interesting. Zhou Yan.
Yeah, I assume they're just playing the nose hit here and try and sit on top.
Looks like it. So, not really trying to peel this one out, just wanting to be on the nose.
They catch it a hair high. Does it catch it a hair low? And that's going to squirt red stone out from underneath the yellow.
So clear path for Team Japan. Pretty low risk of a jam. Interesting 4th end shaping up. Saw the miss earlier from Liu. Nice near freeze by Suzuki, and now Tsunami Yoshida being asked to reposition stones. Just talking about the weight. I think I heard them say Ju, which I believe is 10 in Japanese. That's probably backline weight. Want to save the shooter. Noses it, rolls it. Don't want to create a pocket, but interesting angle. They probably can be doubled off if
9.2 あ10.2
the shooter just confirming the weight that she threw with her teammates. It's kind of an interesting angle here, Sander. It is a double there, but also a chance of hitting it thick and rolling across the top of it a bit.
I think there's a good chance you could play the double here and spin the shooter all the way over to the stone on the wing.
Around the horn, a little bit of bounce back ability here.
I think they're just playing the hit and roll, sit on top, but big weight, so I might be wrong. Might be the double and spin here, we'll see.
Zhou Yan trying to clean house. 1-2 and squirts through the rings herself, so damage reduction for the Chinese that reduces the risk of a 3, but it doesn't eliminate it.
Not sure if that was the way she wanted to throw that, but 2 reds out.
Yep, so situation improved for Wang Binyu, but here we see that red stone right behind the corner guard, and Tsunami Yoshida's going to be, is she going to split the house? Or yes, she is. She's not going to use the corner guard again on this shot.
That is awfully cautious.
It is awfully cautious. I would be very tempted to go around the corner guard again.
Yes, there is a bit less curl coming towards that corner, but
Oh, this one's really steaming. Will it stop?
I was going to say the corner guard is long enough for you to be able to come around. So
Oh no, Yoshida throwing it through the rings. No, no. Again through the house.
yeah, that's the worst thing when you end up trying to make the safe call and it doesn't pan out for you.
Yeah. Fujisawa wondering what's going on. So a huge opportunity for the Japanese, maybe gone begging now. Sanders said they elected the safe play, playing to the open side of the house, but complete miss there from Yoshida, throws it through the rings, and there's the tiniest piece of the stone available for Wang Binyu, and it looks to me like she's going to try and just squeeze by that guard and pick the back stone out. She can't be able to see very much of it from the hack end, surely. Tough shot here for Wang Binyu. Panic's shouting now, she's by. No, she clips the front. So going way, way out to the edge of the sheet there into a new patch of ice, and I think it must have just grabbed and fooled them. Seemed pretty happy with it about a quarter of the way down, but then suddenly a panic yell for the sweepers, which meant that stone's curling and it wrecks the guard. So the deuce is still alive here for Japan. Kind of been doing their best not to score the 2, but they still have a chance at it. So can Satsuki Fujisawa split the house this time?
I wouldn't be surprised if there was just a bit of bite in the pebble out there. Tend to get a little more curl if it's not been played before.
No, they've been barely a brush late on that part of the ice. Very wide part of the ice. Oh, Satsuki Fujisawa immediately telling her teammates, whoa, whoa, whoa. Surely they can't be throwing another stone through the rings, can they? Xiao sweeps it deep, and oh my goodness, another one through the rings. Unbelievable.
You know, that's not even missed by 4 feet. That's missed by about 14 feet. Well, especially when the ice is so keen, you can carry it so far with the good sweepers they have. You can throw a halfway guard and it'll probably make it into the house.
No.
To throw that untouched through the rings is just it's unforgivable.
Yeah, very poor play by the Japanese here. They've had fantastic chances to generate a deuce in this end, and first Tsunami Yoshida and now Satsuki Fujisawa throwing open draws through the rings, and now Wang Binyu is given an early Christmas gift can remove that Japanese stone. She wrecked on the guard the first time, but now it's wide open. Wants to stick around. Gets the inside roll, but pops out the other side. Okay, so Kansutsuku Fujisawa reset after that really quite bad miss. Blank the end. You know you've thrown away your chance for the 2, so want to try and keep the hammer as a small consolation, but oh, Sandra, what an opportunity missed for Japan.
Yeah, big opportunity missed.
Last stone of end number 4.
Gotta make sure you get the blank though. Small consolation.
Okay, perfectly executed there by the Japanese, so they do blank the 4th end. They keep the hammer into the 5th, but a huge opportunity lost for Team Japan. Looked like they were wired for the deuce, but misses mean that they have to go for the blank. So after 4 ends of play, Japan will have the hammer in the 5th, but China's leading it 3-1. So the blank means that Japan carries the hammer into the 4th, trailing by 2. Yang Ying starts us off. Yeah, Sandra, I'm still shaking my head at the inability of the Japanese back end to find the house with draw weight.
Yeah, it's a little disturbing. Can only hope for them to improve and adjust, but now we're in the 5th end. Should have been done by now.
Here is Yuriko Yoshida. Well, at the 5th end break, the teams will have a 4-minute opportunity to speak with their coaches and grab a snack. And boy, if there was ever a team that really needed a 5th end break, I would say it's this Japanese team. And they can get themselves level, though. If they can deuce here, that will lift their spirits, and we would be all tied up. Yoshida drills it right on the World Curling Federation logo. It's a wide corner guard. Yang Ying. Well brushed by the Chinese. They bring it up into the 12-foot. Okay, so now we see the first indication of the Japanese changing their game plan a bit. It looked for me for a moment that they were going to play a small tap on the stone in the 4-foot. Looks like they still are by the brush position.
You were just saying that if you rack on the top yellow and check to the wing, that's a good option.
So a couple of good results possible here for Yoshida. Yuriko Yoshida looking on. Suzuki and Yoshida really working it. Quiet weight. Pushes that Chinese stone on an angle into the 4-foot. But sits their own stone right on that center line, and as we've seen earlier, they do love that short run back. Veteran Wang Bingyu says we're up 2. Feeling like we're in control, so I'm going to rip this corner guard. Good coast-to-coast sweeping there from Team China.
こっちよ
Holds the line and eliminates the guard. So what will Japan do?
ビッグでも悪くないよ。
I think they're just going to corner freeze the stone on the top of the 4.
It's an aggressive call, isn't it?
It's not too aggressive.
Well, if you're a couple of feet short, though, you're inviting the guard, and
That is true. Kind of have to make it. That's true. But I like it. This one really wide, though. You might have to freeze the other yellow.
quite a wide path. We have seen these stones curling really hard as they finish. This one's got a lot of curling to do, though. Sits in kind of the triangle pocket there, the Bermuda Triangle. Wang Bingyu is ignoring that one and saying, okay, the stone in the center line is probably the danger rock, so she wants to eliminate that one first. Well played. So those two yellow counters belonging to China. Liu Jinli acknowledges her teammates. Good clear there. Fujisawa wants to just reposition stones slightly here to generate some offense. They've got the hammer.
同じターンでタップかどっちがいい？
同じターンで普通に右についちゃってもじゃあそれで B で黄色にフリーズにしようかなウェイトちょっと上げた方がいい
そうだね、8ぐらい。
And kind of just T-line weight and crossing the face of the red and maybe pushing it on top of the Chinese stone and then rolling her own shooter in front of the other Chinese stone. Delicate shot here for Yumi Suzuki.
Still staying aggressive. The other option here would be to just play a little hit and roll off the yellow. Try and keep two in the rings, but still tons of stones left.
No contact on their own, but they do reposition the Chinese stone, and the angles are interesting. China nose hits the red, they would jam.
I think you can nose it and get the two reds flying. They'll clip the back yellow, but I don't think the back red will stick around.
Kind of depends where they hit it, but maybe enough there for Xiaoyan to squeeze it out, and Wang Bingyu certainly wants to eliminate something here.
Just hit this on the nose. You might just get a tiny bit of a drag on the second red rock.
Calling for the sweep immediately. Oh, bad luck for the Chinese. They go across the face and jam. So, not the nose hit. They called sweeping right away. That tells us that she was inside the line, and here's what happens. Misses the backstone entirely, jams on her own. She was trying to make the double takeout, but the overcurl creates the jam. Japanese stone sticks around in the back of the forefoot. It's actually shot. So Sander, after a game full of struggles, again, the Japanese handed a big opportunity. Can they convert this time?
It's a little bit tougher without any guards. So many stones left in the end. Playing the hit and roll on set 3, you're leaving China a few chances at a double.
So you want to get some separation between your stones, don't you? But it is a bit dangerous and dicey to try to move that stone.
Well, that's what they're just calling a tap freeze here.
Just trying to push that stone back.
Yep, get some backing. Make it all more complicated for China.
You like this call?
Yeah, I don't mind this. There's another 4 rocks to go. The chance of China making a double or two are pretty big, so stay a little aggressive still.
Tsunami Yoshida.
Of course, playing the down weight, you're making sure you stick around, right? You play the hit, you can roll out, and China plays one double, the end is over.
Definitely in favor of keeping more rocks in play for the Japanese. They are trailing. Trying to hold the line here. This stone is really cutting.
Get a little rub, maybe?
Oh, bit fortunate there. That was light. She's trying to play down to the yellow and over curled and hit her own. So Yoshida wondering what was going on there. There is a double takeout now for Zhou. If Wang Binyu looking for her to hit it right on the nose. She over curled last time playing this turn.
Maybe overcorrected here. Yep, just a little bit. And jams it.
So the end still very much alive for Team Japan. The stones are clustered though in the forefoot, pretty close together. So Japan, there we see the jam. Stepped up the weight and kept the line straighter.
If Japan could ever just freeze their top red, just slightly over curl it, lined up towards the yellow back rock.
Did you ever think about guarding in this situation?
Well, it is the fifth end, so I think Japan's thinking, well, worst case scenario, we get a blank here.
The only reason I mentioned the guard is they are kind of set up now for at least the one and a good chance to score the two. They do push it into the pocket, so Yoshida repositions the stones gently.
They didn't quite get the angle onto the yellow, but it's pretty much impossible for China to get rid of all the reds here.
I just thought by bringing the stone into play like this, you give the Chinese a chance to make at least a double takeout. And you're still playing for a two, but then it's only a two. China noses this one in the top of the forefoot with a lot of weight. The only stone remaining will be that one sitting on the button right now, in the front of the button. Might leave the yellow stone in the rings, depends on the angles.
The shooter, I'm assuming.
Yeah, the shooter, depends on if it hits it high side or not. Yeah, the shooter would stick. Wang Binyu looking to rearrange things. Waiting for it to curl. So what have we got at the end of the exercise? The Chinese stone doesn't roll back onto the ring, so Japan lies one. Chinese stone to the back of its second shot, looking for the nose, but hit it a little bit on the high side and loses her shooter in the process. So you'd be a bit tempted to play a bit of weight at the shot rock on the angle and get some separation to lie three.
Yeah, I think this is the time to, as you said, get some separation, not just cluster all your rocks.
Yoshida puts her brush on the ice thinking corner freeze. The only thing I don't like about the corner freeze is if you don't get it positioned perfectly, create some bad angles, and then Wang could just blast away and take you out of the end. It's a fantastic shot if you get it there. If you just slightly across nose freeze the stone to the left-hand side, the red stone at the right left-hand side of the forefoot, you could create a jam angle on the back one. It would be very difficult for Wang to remove any Japanese stone, but boy, oh boy, no room for error. But if she makes it, maybe a chance for a 3 or 4. So, riverboat gambling time for Satsuki Fujisawa. More weight, I think, than they're looking for. They wanted to freeze, but this is going to move rocks. Here's some repositioning anyways. Okay, well, Japan lies 1, maybe 2. Right in front of that Chinese stone, so that one's jamming all day long. Interesting choice now for Wang Bingyu. They're taking a close look at it in terms of whose second shot, because that does matter. If you just play the shot rock and happy to roll away, you might give Japan an easy deuce if you misjudge whose second shot. Are they thinking about the freeze sounder? That would be very gutsy.
Be very good too if they make it.
Fantastic if they make it. It's the kind of shot, though, if you're a foot heavy with it or 2 feet heavy with it, maybe give Japan a easy double takeout for 4. Timeout is called by China. This is a big decision for them. Calling coach Tan Wei-dong onto the ice. Japan does have the hammer here on end number 4. We're live from Uiseong, Korea. Semi-final Friday here at the Pacific Asia Curling Championships. China's leading Japan 3-1. We're in the 4th end. But Japan's got last rock here, and the players are taking another close look at whose second shot, because that's going to influence their shot choice for Wang Binyu's final stone of the end. But Satsuki Fujisawa's got the hammer. Here comes Coach Tan. Pivotal moment. Stakes couldn't be higher. At stake, a ticket to the gold medal match. Korea watching this game. They've already got their place in the final. They defeated New Zealand earlier today.
现在是黄的，现在好像是那个近一点点。
啊，咱现在黄是第2进是吧？
是黄的近一点点。然后如果现在我这球打定他的话，他打双飞也是很容易。
对，很容易。
我往这挤一点，我那个也出不去，还是3分可能是。我觉得往这投一个，控他1分或者2分。
只要赢他那个球，咱就够了。
对。
对。
这样，然后或者是双飞往这儿投的话，双飞，然后让他打。
对，你就粘7号就 OK，卡在中间这位置啊，不错。啊，
往这儿来一个。
对。
14秒5的力量。哦，白边的点就够了吧？
Well, Sandra, it looks like the call is the freeze, and it sounded like all of the discussion was, do you freeze it in the pocket or do you angle freeze it on the Japanese stone on the left-hand side of the forefoot? Looked to me like the decision was try to freeze it in the pocket between those 2 Japanese stones.
Yeah, that makes more sense to me. You know, the more you look at it, that rock from Fujisawa really worked out. I think it was a little bit lucky too.
Yes.
Wasn't quite what they were looking to do, but right now it looks pretty hard for Binyuang to remove 2 reds with a takeout. So
that's exactly right.
That's why they're going for the freeze.
Only positive for Wang Binyu here is that shot rock just marginally in the back of the button there. So if she's a little bit heavy, she could just bump it back slightly and have it for backing. No room for error here for Betty Wang, trying to just freeze it in between those Japanese stones. If she makes any kind of an error here, Japan will have a shot for a bundle. They overswept this one. Well, worked out pretty well. So she pushes the Japanese stone deep into the button, straight back. Nice shot there by Wang Bingyu. No chance now for a double takeout for a big end. So the question is there a way for a Japanese to manufacture a 2 somehow?
Completely sure about that, Hans?
Japan's playing the red stones. China's playing the yellow stones. But the only way the Japanese could get a 2 here was to get that stone on the left-hand side of the forefoot to go sideways somehow, and to do that, you'd have to hit it thin, but they've got their own stone in the way, so that doesn't really seem possible.
I'd say you just hit this one right in the pocket of the yellow and red combo on the top 4.
So if we hit in the pocket, then does it spring across, pop the yellow out of the back, and they still might be able to get 3 or 4.
Try and catch the top yellow as thin as you can.
Yes.
Might rip the back, the stone in the back 4.
But you still score 3.
It depends on how much action you get on the shooter. If that ends up like spinning out of
Could
the house,
spin right across the top.
or and how much action you end up getting on the red that's frozen on the back yellow. That'll be moving to the left as we saw it. Just a question of how much. It's a difficult shot, but catch it in the pocket here. I think you'll see both the yellows fly, and then you just have to start counting how many reds are left.
So here we go. Last stone on its way. End number 5, Satsuki Fujisawa trying to pick the Chinese stone out. A chance here for a big end if she can make it. Oh, after all of that, it looks like a score of 1 for Japan. They're taking a close look at it. Is it 1 for China? We'll wait for some confirmation on the score here because that's a big point either way. Fujisawa had a chance there to get a 3 or a 4, but she hit that one a bit too thick. We're still waiting for scoreboard confirmation here. Oh, the Japanese have had so many chances in this game to throw multiple points on the board, and that was another one. That one's gone begging, so we go to the 5th end break. We will wait for official confirmation of the score before updating it, but what we do know is Japan had a great chance there. Weren't quite able to convert it. And China, boy, they know they got a let off there. That could have been 3 or 4.
I believe I saw the one up on the scoreboard for China there, Hans.
So it's a steal of 1 for China. So after 5 ends of play, it's China 4, Japan 1. So here's the highlights from the first half of this game in the first end. Cross-house double takeout attempt from Satsuki Fujisawa. And then an open hit for Wang Bingyu. Has to stick around. And she does into the back of the forefoot. So
可以控制
China puts a 2 on the board in the first.
然后让机会好哈，偷分。没有。
Into the fourth, and Japan had a great chance to cash the deuce, but Satsuki Fujisawa's first draw goes all the way through the rings. And the opportunity to score 2 goes out the window, so as a result, she has to play for the blank instead. Makes the blank to carry it over, but that was an opportunity gone for the Japanese. Could have tied the game, but instead they're trailing 3-1. And then in the fifth, yet another opportunity for Team Japan. Has to hit this yellow one in the top of the button really thin. If they do, it would be a shot for maybe 3, maybe 4. Satsuki Fujisawa comes a bit narrow, hits the stone thick and pushes the stone back, but when the players look at it, it's in fact China that steals the point. So China now at the fifth end break ahead 4-1. So now we return to the Uiseong Curling Center, women's semifinal here at the Pacific Asia Curling Championships. Hans Frauenlob here with world mixed curling champion Sander Rulveg of Norway. And Sander, the story of the game so far is opportunities lost for Team Japan.
Yeah, and that's why I don't think you should write them off quite yet. They're creating chances, and at some point they're hopefully going to be able to pull it off. I think China should be a little bit careful.
Yep, Yang Ying's playing at 83% for the first half of the game. No, you're absolutely right, Sander. There have been opportunities aplenty, and when you're creating opportunities, sooner or later you're going to convert one of them. Will this be the end that the Japanese turn it around?
Just try not to be too disheartened, and hopefully Coach James Lind had some encouraging words at halftime.
Yep, James, known as JD. Here's Yoriyuki Yoshida. She's at 63% for the first half, so she's being out-curled by her opponent at this stage of the game. But yes, Coach JD Lind has been working with this Fujisawa team now for, I believe, about 3 or 4 years. He's from the Calgary area in Canada. He was asked, how did you connect up with this team from Japan? And he was telling me that the Japanese province of Hokkaido, where this team is from, is the sister area of the province of Alberta, where he's from. And Hokkaido approached Alberta to say, have you got any up-and-coming coaches that could work with one of our up-and-coming teams? Long story short, they found JD. JD found Satsuki Fujisawa's team. And I would say that JD Lind is one of the finer young coaches in the sport of curling. He's done a great job with this team. I remember talking to him at the Women's Worlds in Swift Current, and he said over the last year the team made the transition from waiting for input on game strategy to really taking charge of it themselves. So that's a sign of the maturing of a curling team.
Well, James Lind was already coaching at the tender age of 21. Coached Charlie Thomas's junior team at the World Juniors in 2007, where they picked up their second gold medal.
Well, that's amazing. So JD Lind creating a career as a coach, which is amazing. Often former players become coaches after their playing career is done, but JD becoming a professional coach at a very early age.
Well, that's been a trend in European football or soccer, actually.
Yes. Woo Jin Lee playing at 80%. Trying to rip the guard. Very well played. Well, it makes sense, because if you're going to invest in developing players at a young age, then it makes perfect sense to invest in developing coaches at a young age as well. Here's Yumi Suzuki. At 63%, a bit below par for her by her high standards. Straw coming right into your living room.
Yeah, still waiting for curling to become a 3D TV sport.
Well, that's pretty close. Nice ice level shot there. Well done, team. Corner frozen there. It's going to be difficult for the Chinese to eliminate it without jamming on something. So Japan trying to be patient. They know that a score of 2 here gets them right back in the game. And there we see the pretty good result there for China. Get that Japanese rock does jam and it rolls, but stones are in pretty good spots for China right now.
And again, Japan having to set something up without any guards.
Yeah.
Just using the angles and the rocks in the house. He did well on the previous end and had the chance, but couldn't make it pay off.
Yumi Suzuki. Women's semifinals now, and later on today, we hope you'll stay with us for the men's semifinals. Bit of history already being made in the men's event. Chinese Taipei has qualified for the semifinal for the first time ever. They've been competing at the Pacific Asia Championships since
2001.
你很难留下来，你就按正常打甩，正好往这一挤，停到他前面就行。加油！正常啊，正常击打就可以。9秒9秒5。行。
So quite a collection of stones in and around the 4-foot here for Zhao Yan. She's throwing at 65%. Tough angles here. Oh, look at that. And gets the freeze on the stone and the button and has that stone hang on at the edge of the 12-foot, I think. What a great result there for Zhao Yan. Great shot.
Yeah, throws a controlled weight too. Shows you don't have to put the hot sauce on it to make a double. Just need to hit the right spot.
Well, that one is an absolute flamer in terms of a result, though. Look at that. 1, 2, 3 stones for sure in the rings, and we think that 4th one might be hanging on, although it's unlikely to be material at the end of the end. Good news for Japan is they're all behind the tee line, though. So here's Chinami Yoshida. She's at 55%. We have seen her throw a couple of draws through the house in the first half of the game, so I'm sure that's affected her shooting percentages.
Well, you do get a big fat 0 for doing that, so.
Trying to sit on top of the Chinese stone, but it's over curling. Comes to rest in the back of the 8-foot, so creating a pocket. So Yoshida's fighting it a little bit today. Okay, indicating to her teammates there was something about the rotation of that stone that was different. Zhao Yan won't mind though. She'll just try to rip this stone off the rings. Picks it clean and rolls out. So another crack at it here for Chinami Yoshida. She wants to freeze right on top of those 2 stones in the back of the button. There's Wang Binyu. There we get a great look at it from her overhead. Tries to throw it right on the button, right on top of those 2 stones. Lock it in. Because those stones are frozen, Sander, she can afford to bump it a little bit and still be frozen. This one's a wider track. Playing in number 6. China's leading at 6-1. Japan's got the hammer, looking for their deuce to get back into it. This one's finishing hard. They don't want it to over curl.
Actually,
Does over curl a fraction. Could have swept that a little bit more to keep a better line, I think.
absolutely. A bit of a shame.
Yep, Fujisawa knows it. Says I got it a bit late, sorry. So gonna be bombs away for Betty Wang, I think. She's gonna try and hammer this one and squirt it out somehow. I think I heard her say peel. Peel weight. By no means easy. I mean, did slightly over curl, but it is still pretty well frozen, so she's going to have to hit this one really hard and really thin to squeeze it off the rings. The other alternative is just to hit it hard on the nose and just set your own in front of it.
打定的话也行。
打定空了得1分。
They are looking at that now.
打定吧。
还有10秒力量。
行，计时。
Yeah, so I think Wang's decided that squeezing it off is a little bit too difficult, Sanders, so it looks to me like she's changed the shot and just be looking to nose it now. Either that or she's taking more ice to chip it thinner. No, it is the down weight.
I'm surprised. Didn't look too hard to get rid of that red one, to be honest.
So a cautious play here from Wang Bingyu. Playing at 73%, wants to hold the line, doesn't want to over curl. Oh, that is beauty. Just an absolute beauty.
There's a BLT right there.
Fantastic. 2009 World Women's Champion showing us her class. Look at this. Leaves her rock welded right on top of the Japanese stone. So Japan, we think, is probably lying one as a result. But if you're Satsuki Fujisawa, how in the world do you get two? Have to draw the pin sideways.
1点は取れるように。ハック。いいと思う。
Chinami Yoshida say hack weight, so just attempt to reposition the stones here a bit. Question is, where are they going to try and make contact?
どうなればいい？
Do you try and nose this one,
半分でね
Sandra?
ハックでハック
Yeah, looks like
11。
they're going to play a little hit and roll.
Sit in front of the other stone.
セーターがここに残ればいい？そうだね。
Okay, well, Chinami Yoshida's painting the picture for us.
ある？
失速はね、いや、ビュンビュンの時ほどは伸びてないけど、失速止まるって感じではないかな。
Trailing by 3. You really do have to do something to gain some separation here and give yourself a chance somehow to score 2.
There's a chance she might just leave a double for China, though.
Could do. That's the risk for Japan. Satsuki Fujisawa at 68%. Playing hack weight. Trying to hit half a rock and leave her own stone in front of the Chinese rock to create a jam possibility. This one's got a curl, though.
Little touch and jam at the back.
Hmm.
Gets that.
So China's lying 1, but
打掉它这个。
automatic jam here for China. We do have a bit of separation. She was trying to hit about half the rock with hack weight. That's a bit closer to board. Catches it thin.
10秒力量比较挺好的哈。
Leaves herself sitting second and third shot as a result.
他想处理咱那个难。
And if you're Wang Binyu, are you tempted to throw, hit it your own shot and hit it thin and double cross and kill everything?
I think we just
Just hit the second shot.
Just hit this one and roll away.
Right.
I don't see how Japan's going to.
Right.
But if if she's nose hit, you might leave a double for 2. So just hit and run here. You were discussing rolling into the back 4, though.
So Wang Binyu trying to eliminate the possibility of Japan scoring 3 anyways. So she's certainly done that. So
力有点大了吧？
I don't think that's any good.
1.5还行。
is there a sideways shot with big weight to just nudge that Chinese stone if she hit it really flat and really hard?
Well, there's a chance anyway.
They're looking at the angles.
打那个几下是吧？
ね。
It's really flat, but it should be there.
It's the kind of thing you have to try when you're down 3, though, isn't it? especially in this situation, because if she hits the yellow on the outside, she gets one and only one.
She will have to throw this pretty hard.
Yeah, this is going to have to be Kevin Martin hard to get that flat roll sideways to push that Chinese stone in the button directly to the right. That's the safe play for a one, hitting the yellow on the outside. Well, not safe, it's a risky shot, but pretty makeable.
7半7前半で
Gonna need Frauenlob weight here, Hans.
8目動けばいいな
Well, if you're talking about Team New Zealand, this is the kind of stone that you'd ask Dan Mustapik to throw. He can really throw the high heat. And there we saw a good look at the angle there along the tee line. She's going to have to hit it, no, between 3/4 and 7/8, and she is going to have to throw it really hard because the stone is going to have to go directly sideways. Last stone on its way for end number 6, Atsuki Fujisawa, drawing a flat double takeout. Does she nudge it? Oh, great try. It's one for sure and only one. Don't think it's, well, certainly not two. But it is a score of 1 for Japan, but Sanders so close to the deuce.
Very close. Not sure if she would have enough weight, though, if she didn't overcurl there. But it's a good attempt. At least it's a 1, and it's still a ball game.
So here we are after 6 ends of play. It's China 4, Japan 2. So Japan really close to getting their deuce there. Just not quite there. And looking at the scoreboard, they're starting to run out of ends now, so it's going to have to be all out for generating a steal or two along the road to the 10th end. Yurika Yoshida being asked to play the center guard, and looks like Wang Bingyu is going to be asking Yang Ying to try a tick shot.
It's just something we don't really see until usually the very last end, but there's no reason not to play it already here.
Absolutely. Trying to come across the face, but I think this one's whacking it right on the nose, so I think this one's going to come back. That stone's in the free guard zone area. You're allowed to reposition your opponent's stone, first 4 stones of the end, but you can't take them out of play. That one went out of play by quite a lot.
Yeah, it was way too much weight. It was about heavy hack, and when a guard's that long, you only really need to throw about T-line.
You're playing the tick shot, Sander, and you've played a fair bit of time at the lead position, so I'm sure you've thrown your fair share of those types of shots. Do you like to try and hit it on the high side or come across the face? A lot of debate around which is the best way to play a tick shot.
I think that's just preference, really. I always like to just
come into the rock and try to
come into
catch
the
a
rock,
piece of it.
just normal. But
Yeah.
I think you get a better result doing it, but it's a little bit harder, and there's a bigger chance you might nose it doing that, I think.
Here comes guard number 2 for the Japanese, so they've got their end set up now.
Pulling it across the face can also be a little easier to call the line with, but yeah, it's just preference, really, I think.
Well, Japan would prefer the Chinese to give them an opportunity to steal the end here in the 7th.
So the tick shot doesn't come off on the first one, and That means we're gonna put the second one in the top 4. Quite important to get this one right. You don't want to drop a guard here.
Good looking weight.
A very nice draw by Young Yang.
Right on the button. Beautiful stone.
Actually, in retrospect, maybe a foot too heavy.
Okay, so we're going to give her what, 3 out of 4 for that? You are a lead. Buried perfect. Front of the button, yeah, not so good.
I used to be.
Be a harsh scorekeeper, I think, Sander.
Yeah, well, I think we have pretty harsh scorekeepers this week. That's probably a good thing.
Well, at this level of curling, 3 or 4 inches of stone position can really make all the difference. So it is really important that the teams get stones in good places. Here's Yumi Suzuki trying to follow this one down.
Yeah, the point of keeping it shorter as Japan comes down like they do now.
Yes.
Look at the scoring area, not very big for China. And Japan didn't have to tap it very far to get it behind the T-line either, so...
Point well made, Sander. Illustrated perfectly for you there.
That was a perfect shot by the Japanese. Good setup. Very nice. Double, almost a triple from Leon Jin Lee.
Yeah, she's had a very good game clearing front stones, and once again, tidying up for China. Almost got some action on the one in the forefoot. Great shot. So Yumi Suzuki. Half covers the stones in the forefoot area. Japan now trying to manufacture a steal. Clears one. This game has gone pretty well for China. We've talked a lot about the struggles of the Japanese, but the Chinese have had, not a spectacular game, but a pretty solid one, Sander.
Yeah, and they're doing really well right now. Still 3.5 ends to go. Japan's just gonna have to hope for a slip up or 2 from China.
Yeah, and importantly, if they do get them, they're going to need to capitalize on them. They had many chances in this game, but just haven't really been able to convert them. There's Tsunami Yoshida. She knows the situation they're in. So all those stones lined up right along or near the center line. Zhao Yan. Well, once again, Chinese doing a nice job of clearing front stones. They do leave their own there, but they kill 2. So now, Sander, are they deciding that they have to make a play to get themselves in shot stone position? Is this the time? Tsunami Yoshida. I think being asked to play a small tap on her own stone in the forefoot, just straight back to bump onto the Chinese stone.
Well, this is a kind of a shot that's really important not to overthrow. You're much better off just freezing your own than slipping off. So just throw the top 4, top 8 weight here and let the sweepers do the rest. When you finally get the line, you can sweep it, keep it, and get the bump.
So the weight is quiet, certainly not going to move that rock.
Well, it's better than throwing it heavy. Just a little bit unlucky to just have staggered them.
Yeah, the overlap is now going to make it much more difficult for the Japanese to promote them. Good sweeping here from Suzuki and Yoshida, giving it everything late in the game.
I had a perfect line, really. Two more feet of weight, and gets to nose.
Xiao Yan. Oh, they're really sweeping this one. They're worried about the line. By the guard. Oh, look at that. Really nice shot there by Xiao Yan. Kills both Japanese shots, and China lies too.
ね、フリーズでベストだね。
So Japan resets. We get one more look at it on the replay. Just off nose. Pushes them past her own stones. Nice shot there by Xiao Yan. Still something to work with here for the Japanese, though. Can freeze that one on the button.
And you just need to lock it on. You want to be just a hair low here on the center line side here.
Waiting for it to curl. Here it comes.
Well, this time, perfect weight, not the line.
Yeah. Needed to curl another half a rock. Might have a tiny bit of cover from the center guard, so maybe difficult for Wang Ginyu to throw full takeout weight at this, but probably accessible to her with down weight. Judging by where they've got the broom, might just be thinking about a heavy draw. Yan Zhao just tidying up in front of the rings for Wang Bingyu.
I think most importantly, just try and push the red stone out of the forefoot behind the tee and make sure the shooter stays in front.
And there's a great look at it. Thanks, team. Corner of that red one is hidden, but quite a bit of broom being taken here, so it's going to be quiet weight here for Wang Bingyu. She'll be happy enough to hit it with maybe hack weight, and as long as she gets on the inside. Hard whoa. They must be really close to something good. Just off nose, pops the Japanese stone just out of the forefoot. Second shot position. A little bit conservative with the sweeping call there. Could have curled a bit more and got a bit more inside roll. Fujisawa was saying, well, if we could just hit this on the nose, what's she going to do? She could lie too.
とりあえずワンツー作れれば。11？
ノーズでも悪くないんだ。ベストはね、ちょっと。
Not taking a lot of ice here, Hans.
Well, we saw Wang Bingyu. She played very quiet weight and had about, I don't know, foot or so of ice and didn't curl much. So, but I'm with you, Sander. It's not a lot of ice, and she's going to play it pretty quietly, I would have thought.
you just got to make sure to get to nose here. Can't roll a foot to the wing because he'll leave a double.
No, definitely looking for a nose hit here. China leading it by 1, or by 2 rather, in the 7th end. Trying to curl it to the nose. Needs to be... No,
it's not good enough.
No, it's not. Sets up the double takeout. Wanted to be on the nose, but that little outside flop has this given Wang Binyu the chance to make a double takeout, which would give the Chinese a big lead. Satsuki Fujisawa wanted to be on the nose or just across it, was just on the outside of it, and she rolls to the outside. And importantly, away from the protection of that center guard. So now a chance for Wang Binyu to strike what might be the killer blow in this game. China's leading it 4-2, but a chance here for Wang Binyu to make a double takeout, and if she did, China would enjoy a 6-2 lead. Last stone of the end for Wang Binyu. Not laying a brush to it. No, hits it on the high side, rolls away, so it's a cheeky steal of 1 for Japan. How do you like that?
Could have killed the game there.
So instead of the killer blow, Japan lives to breathe another day. They dodge a huge bullet there and steal 1, so it's after 7 ends of play. Game on. China 4, Japan 3. Yurika Yoshida getting us underway. So, new game, folks. China had a double takeout to score 2 there on the 7th end, but Wang Binyu a little bit wide, blows it by, and Japan steals 1. So instead of a 4-point deficit, Japan's closed it to 1. And Sandra, now it's anybody's game. It's a new game.
Definitely a huge change of momentum now. Yeah, there's a potential score 2 or 3 for Binyuang there, and now it's all almost died. Only the 1 point separating the teams. See if Pyongyang can play the tick shot this time.
Tried the tick in the last end, didn't make it. Japan's trying to sweep it out of play, because if it goes out of play, that stone comes back, and it does go out of play.
A little bit overswept, but again, I think just throwing a bit too much weight. You're going to have to catch it so thin when you're playing hack weight. I'd say not more than back line for a guard that long. Obviously, it's tempting to roll the shooter out of play, but it's better to make it and end up with 2 wide corners, I think.
Yeah, that tick shot is a very difficult shot. Here's Yurika Yoshida. Great when you make it. Of course, if you underthrow it and you clip the front one, all of a sudden there's 2 guards sitting up front, and you feel pretty terrible about that. So very, very tough shot. Great when you make it. You don't want this stone to come into the rings, but it looks like it is. It's high in the house though, so it's not the worst in the world. Doubt that Yang will be able to make a play at it, but Well, Wang Binyu thinks she can. So must be enough of that stone visible from the hack in to think about the takeout. Of course, the risk there, if you come narrow and you clip the front, it's still in the free guard zone.
Yeah, just play enough soft way here. If you do take the center, you just take it over and not remove it from play. You don't have to kill this red one. Just check it to the wing.
Just gently bruise it.
Yeah. Close.
Oh my.
But no cigar.
Okay, well. Is this the momentum shift that has been lurking in this game? We talked about how Japan was creating opportunities and not converting. Maybe it was the steel sander that, as opposed to the cashing in the deuce of her three, that could be generating the momentum swing for Team Japan. Here's Yumi Suzuki.
Well, that's only one made shot of the last 4 for Chinese lead, Young Yang. Maybe the young and inexperienced player showing some of that inexperience just in the latter stages of the semi-final.
Well, she is a new player to this team and first time competing at this level. She might have already been thinking ahead to playing in the final and thinking that, okay, all I need to do now is get us home. So you're right, you start thinking about the result as a young player as opposed to staying in the moment. Net result, though, is Japan's got something going. The experienced Lu Jinli looking to tidy up. Oh, look at that. Long double takeout. So the experienced Lu helping eliminate one of the errors from her younger teammate. So curling's a team sport. Sometimes you have to pick up your teammate, and boy, Lu did a great job there. Suzuki. Really enjoyed receiving all the feedback that we were getting from curling fans around the world from this Pacific Asia curling competition. Well, we've got some viewers in Australia tonight letting us know that they're enjoying the curling. So good day to our friends in Aussie. Those guards now quite close together, so a chance here for Lu Jinli to double them off, perhaps. This one's riding out a bit wide, though. But enough weight to kill them all. Lu has that real positive rotation that you mentioned earlier, Sander, as well as the ability to throw the big weight, and that really helps on peels, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. He gets a lot more action with the shooter. Spins off, and obviously it's going to run really straight. So just put the broom down where you want to hit it.
Shinami Yoshida. Play in end number 8. This game is scheduled for 10. If we're tied after 10 ends of play, we will go to an extra end.
And Japan now just can't make any mistakes here. It's like treading on broken glass.
Yeah, have to put every foot ever so carefully in front of the other. Zhao Yan. Team China, on the other hand, it is blast away. Nearly makes the double. Rolls her own off the sheet, which is what she wanted to do. So once again, China doing a nice job clearing guards. Yoshida again, just looking to put it back.
I think China is quite happy to just peel the guards for now, and you know, Fujisawa will probably put her last one into the house somewhere, and they'll have a shot for the single.
Yeah, a force would be a very good result for the Japanese. So after some early game struggles with her draw weight, Tsunami Yoshida has got it nicely dialed in here in the late going. Zhao Yan, grip it and rip it. So 4 clears in a row by the Chinese second and third players. That's a nice play.
まだ滑ってる？
まだ滑ってるよ全然。滑ってる。
かかるかかかんないかぐらいですか？前でもいいんだけど。
Satsuki Fujisawa.
二号さん。ちょっとまっすぐ進みそう。ちょっとあるよ。4。まっすぐなるの見ろ。
He's also had some struggles with draw weight in this game. This stone's really sitting out there. Comes into the rings. So Japan lies 2, very well separated. So if Wang Binyu is inclined to try and double them off, it would be quite a long one. Think that's where she wanted to be, Sander?
I don't think so.
I thought that she'd be thinking to be short of the rings and maybe come in on her last, but there's a lot of separation between those stones, but seems to be making a play on the shot rock instead.
Has no choice but to hit it. Now the forfeits are fully open, but I'll be surprised to see if Wang Bingju will choose to play a draw against 2 counters though.
Right on the nose.
Probably see a little hit and flop in behind the top rock here for Japan.
So as we get later in the game, the tension ratchets up every end. Good chance here for the Japanese to force China to score a single point.
Really important to get the roll here.
Yeah, they must save the shooter.
Well, that's mostly important.
Yes, but the roll, absolutely, Sander, very important.
Yeah, force her to draw here against 2.
Trying to take it outside now. Well, they're lying 2, so I think it's mission accomplished as far as the force goes. Open hit here for Wang Bingyu and about 4 feet of house to roll to if she had to, but if the Japanese do in fact get the force, the Chinese did take a quick look at the double, but they are sensibly playing the shot rock.
Yeah, the force isn't bad for Japan, but definitely a steal would have been great, especially in the 8th end, tie up the game and try and force China in 9, come home with hammer.
So Wang Bingyu, last rock of end number 8, needs to hit and stick to score. Facing 2. Pretty happy with it. There's the hit. It's an outside roll. Does it stick around? Has it gone too far?
Wow.
I think it might be a steal. They're certainly going to have a look at it.
I'd say it looks yellow, the hands.
I think it is just yellow, but they're going to take a look. Tell you what, if I'm Japan, I'm asking for a measure. China points at the yellow, and they do agree, so barely. By a couple of millimeters, China scores 1. Big relief there for Team China. That could have been a disastrous steal, but instead China scores 1. So after 8 ends of play, Japan with the hammer, but China with a 5-3 lead. Yang Ying, Chinese lead at 69% here after 8 ends of play. So under brief moments of terror for Wang Bingyu on that last stone. It looked pretty routine for a hit and stick for one, but hit it a little bit on the outside. Fujisawa swept it, and it was almost a steal for the Japanese, but China just clung and got their one.
Yeah, that was a bit of a scary moment if you're rooting for China.
Absolutely.
Again, Ying Yang just coming a little deep on that first draw. Maybe just a little too scared of dropping a guard here.
There's Eureka Yoshida, she's at 73%. So Japan with the hammer here on end number 9. They trail by 2. 5-3 for China. Japan will be looking for the deuce, and then they'll be all out to try and steal the 10th. This one's quite wide, so it is a corner guard, but very wide on the sheet. There's Yang Ying. Again, coming into the rings. This one's going to sit a little bit higher, probably front button. Japan will still ignore this stone. I kind of like this call by Fujisawa. She's indicating that she wants Yoshida to go around that corner guard right now.
I'd be tempted to throw another corner here. Not on the other side, but around the corner, because that's so long.
Yeah, it's going to be very hard to bury, so.
Maybe throw one a little tighter to the rings, hope China clips the top one, and now you have a better guard to come around.
I guess Fujisawa's rationale is that Liu and Zhou are doing such a good job of ripping guards that you get one in there early, except that the Chinese are going to rip the guard and then maneuver stones around in the forefoot there. But regardless, this is the choice made by the Japanese, sweeping this stone just past the tee. So we'll see what Wang Bingyu elects to play.
It's actually a touch overburied, I think.
Yeah, we see the brush going on the high side of the rock.
And that draw was good enough to make China peel the top one. Mission accomplished.
Yeah, definitely. Wang Bingyu asking Liu Jinli. Sometimes these really long peels are harder. Less real estate for the thrower. She's at 80%. She's had a very solid game. Clips it, rolls away. So once again, Liu doing a nice job clearing front stones. It's something you get asked to do a lot when you're a second player, especially if your team's in the lead late in the game. Yumi Suzuki, 61%. So she's being out curled by her counterpart, but only needs a shot or two here to really make up for that. Trying to protect that stone of their own in the back 8. So the cat and mouse game continues. Japan will guard, China will try to rip the guards. If the guards aren't perfect, China will hit the stone in the rings, and looks to me like Wang Bingyu is saying, okay, yep, we can see 3/4 of it. Let's have a crack at it. So here is Liu Jinli. But the net effect here, Sander, even if she makes, is that corner guard, as you suggested earlier, is maybe a bit better for the Japanese to use. It's a little bit nearer to the center line.
Yeah, so I'd say that was probably the right way to miss the corner. If you over curl it and they can peel it on the inside, there's almost nothing left to come around. So that was okay. We'll see how much it curls though. Coming this way, I have seen it curl a bit less coming towards the carpet side of the sheet.
Well, the good news for Yumi Suzuki is it's pretty much the same track that she just threw down, so she should have an idea. Really working it though, are they by the guard? Can't really afford to crash it, but I think they have. So it's 2 guards for the Japanese, but again, a small missed opportunity when they had one. Yumi Suzuki wanted to go around that guard, but instead wrecks on it. Zhao Yan at 78%. Be given license to kill here, license to kill the guard. Right on the nose though, so here's a chance for the Japanese. That's one of the misses they've been waiting for. Instead of clearing, Zhao hits that one on the nose and clips out one of her own, so. Small chance here for the Japanese. There we see at the top of our screen 2 corner guards. So a chance here for the Japanese to hit the shot rock, roll to the left and get behind cover. There's Tsunami Yoshida, 64%, but this is a big shot. Boy, this one's really moving. Are they going to be able to save it? They're just playing the straight come around. Backing off it now. It's all over the guard. Oh my goodness. Pushes it onto the rings just to add insult to injury. So it wasn't the hit and roll after all. It was just the come around draw, but over curls. And once again, another opportunity gone begging for Japan. So now if you're Wang Bingyu, what's your shot choice? You've got a bunch of corner guards. It's going to be hard to kill them all. You've got one on the button. Part of you is tempted to guard it, but you also know if you guard it, don't make it great. You're giving your opponent that chance to score too. Playing the 9th in. China leads it by 2. Well, we see the broom position, so looks like they've elected the guard, and fantastic if you make it, but boy, if you don't, really open the door. I don't think this is a guard. This is certainly going to be in the rings. Happy enough to come right on top of her own. Pushes it back button, so I think they're happy with that. The angles are pretty good now. So now, Sandra, it looks like the Japanese are reduced to just playing a tiny bump freeze and just pushing this stone back a bit.
Well, we've seen that a few times this game.
Trying to sweep this now to curl. Right on the nose, pushes it back. Probably pushed back about 2 or 3 feet more than they would have liked, though. So lots of room now for the Chinese to hit the stone high side and avoid a jam. Japan doing everything they can to try and get their deuce here. China can afford to play it more conservatively. They do hold the 2-point lead. As Wang Bingyu readies to throw this stone. Should be trying to take that red stone out. She's at 73% for this game. Waiting for it to curl. I think she's got a piece, but she wants to keep the roll in the house. There's the hit, there's the roll. Right behind the pile, so China lies 4. Here we see on the replay. Nice control of her weight, so the half contact on the stone still lets that roll stay in the house. Wang and Zhou discussing their options. So Sander, if you're Satsuki Fujisawa now and you've got 2 to come, you're looking at 4 here. What are our options?
Play that draw off the forfeit, which I think is the call. Could be a little cheeky and just play a freeze, this corner freeze on that second shot as well. And hope that China leaves her a shot for 2 somehow. I kind of like both.
Yeah, so 2 down, perhaps Fujisawa's thinking, if we score 1, at least we're still in the game.
That is
steal 10, steal the extra.
That's very possible. That's the thought process, but to make sure to get the roll here and not roll too far. This one, I'm
Lots
not
of
sure.
weight.
Yeah, not sure if it's going to come up for her. Nope, no hit.
打定的话，他打定就赢，是不是？
打甩这一点儿。
稍微往上甩一点点，藏起来，让他旋打或者让他空投吧，哈。
行，让他投也行。你要打甩过来，你让他单投也行，他仨呢，压力大。
打甩的话，那是相关球是吗？
So we know they're going to be hitting it. Just a question about where they want to leave the roll.
然后完了还是10秒力量哈。Okay.
Looks to me like they're wanting this one to roll to the right as we're looking at it on this overhead. Definitely don't want to leave it right where it is. Fujisawa just knows hits. I think they'd like to leave it on the tee line on the right-hand side. Leave the forefoot for Satsuki Fujisawa. Make her look at 4. And if there's any kind of an error on the draw,
中间点稍微小一点点 ，OK。
they could steal. On it right away. Oh my, well that makes it a little bit more interesting. They jam on the backstone, and so is there a shot now on the in-turn for 2? This stone over curls. Here we see on the replay, red Japanese stone jams on the back one. Chinese stone remains on the edge of the 4 behind the corner guard, but there might be just enough of it visible to Satsuki Fujisawa where she can play quiet weight. Just tap it gently and score 2. There we get a great look on the overhead. That yellow shot rock pretty well buried, but Sander, I have to say at this point in the game, it's a shot you have to try.
Yeah, I think so. Could maybe see a sliver from the hack, but should be makeable. There's enough swing in the ice here.
She only has to push that stone 6 inches. And you know she's going to be on the proper angle for it. So any kind of contact, and there's a shot here for 2. Willing it to curl, needing it to curl. But it doesn't, it goes by, and so it's a steal of 1 to China. Oh, the entire game, Japan has had opportunities for deuces, haven't converted, and there's another one. Chance for Japan to tie the game, but a little bit heavy and a little bit wide. Steal of 1 to China. Is that the decisive point? Here we see the stone coming down towards the target area. well by that guard, and it swings past the shooter into the hack. Satsuki Fujisawa can only watch. She knows that was her chance to tie the game, but instead it's a steal of 1 to China and a hammerlock on this game. After 9 ends of play, it's China 6, Japan 3. So 10th and final end underway. Well, possibly the final end, but Japan will have to score 3 to force an extra. Japan have had so many chances in this game to generate multiple points with the hammer, and every single time have failed to convert. So now Yurika Yoshida, Japan is going to need every single shot this end. First one from Yoshida will be a guard.
ちょっとエクステンション強いよ。
曲がってもいないよ。
ウエイトだけ。
いいよ、回ってた。
曲がってるよ。いや、ウエイトあるんだ。ちょっとそこすぎる。
16.1。
ナイス。
That's a very nice start.
大哥，这个放一个。
我自己直觉我想放了这个。
行。
行吗？
行。
你们两个都 OK 吗？可以。可以，放了吧。
行。
And that stone being a corner guard, China saying, okay, we won't try the tick. We don't want any rocks in play at all. We're up 3, so they just ask Yang Ying to just simply throw it through the house. And that's a situation. I've played a bit of lead stone in my time, and when you get a chance to do that, Sander, that's always a welcome breather.
Yeah,
I think I can
it's
make
a fairly
that one.
makeable one.
Yeah.
But there is a chance for the 3 here. Just need a miss from China, or as you said early in the week, a miss and a half.
Yeah. Yep, sometimes that half miss where you, instead of knocking a stone out of the rings, maybe you just hit the stone and roll it to a place where your opponent can use it. The thing for China, by electing to throw it through, you're basically telling your opponent, okay, you can have 2 corner guards, so. The table's been set for Team Japan. Liu Jin Lee. So 1 down for Team China. At this point now you're counting rocks if you're Wang Bingyu. You know that your opponent needs 3 of them to tie you. That's 1 Japanese stone behind the back line, so. In your mind, you're thinking 5 to go. Yumi Suzuki. 10 brings this one into the 4-foot.
Doesn't quite bury it though.
No, open and available. For Liu Jinli. quite happy for their own stone to blast out of the rings. They don't want to leave anything for the Japanese to use. Satsuki Fujisawa doing everything she can to generate something. Problem is, 2's not enough. You need 3. Yumi Suzuki. And this wrecks the front. So a second guard at least for Japan. So if it's going to be a miss, at least there's a second guard as a result. But again, one less stone available for Japan to score with. Zhao Yan. She knows to clear in the last end. Makes that one perfectly. So the countdown continues for Team China. Trying to book their place in the gold medal match tomorrow against Korea. Tsunami Yoshida. Japan slowly running out of bullets. 4 rocks to come, and they need 3 of them in the rings. Trying to get it buried a little bit behind the corner guard. So nice weight there from Yoshida. So that's one of the 3 that the Japanese will need. But as we said off the top of the end, if you're going to score 3, you're going to need a miss or 2 from your opponent. And Wang Binyu is asking Zhao Yan to clear the front. No Chinese misses yet in this end. Right on this one right away, though. Oh, nice sweeping by the Chinese, but no, there is the miss.
Oh, that's going to make things interesting all of a sudden.
Yep, and a bit of a broom bang there from Zhao. She knows that was a mistake. And she's left her own stone in front of the Japanese stone. So if Fujisawa can wrap another one around here, Yoshida to throw it. The 3 could be on. Past the guard. Don't want it to go too deep, though. Sure can't bounce.
Oh, better come right. That's a bit of a missed call there by the skip.
Yeah, could have swept it by it, couldn't they?
Could have swept it
Buried
by it.
Buried in the back 12 foot.
Now there's a slash double for Wang Binyu to kill the game.
Satsuki Fujisawa just hoping that she has a chance to throw a stone, but we can see Zhao Yan placing the broom on the stone in the 8 foot. That tells us that enough of it's available for Wang Binyu. She could make a double takeout and end it right here. Must get by the guard. Double takeout by Wang Binyu, and China goes to the gold medal match. Fantastic last stone there from Wang. Cool under pressure. A fair result, I think. China was the better team for this entire game, and they close it out. Disappointment for Satsuki Fujisawa and her Japanese team, but it's China on to the gold medal match. There's your final score. China 6 and Japan 3. Highlights from the semifinal match between China and Japan play in the first end. Wang Binyu has an open hit to score 2 in the first end. Hits it slightly across the nose, but hangs around. And China gets off with a 2-point end in the first, leading it 2-0. Then in the fourth end, Japan with a chance to get a deuce of their own, but Satsuki Fujisawa's draw goes through the house. So an opportunity for the deuce gone. Disappointment for Fujisawa. After China removed the Japanese stone, Japan had to blank. So after 4, it was China 3 and Japan 1. In the next end, again, a chance for Japan. Fujisawa trying to hit that yellow stone just thin and a chance for maybe 3. But the stone just over curls, and after all the rocks stop moving, it is actually a steal of 1 for China. Players looking at it, but they agree. So after the 5th end break, it was China leading it 4-1. Then in end number 6, a very difficult but makeable flat double here for Satsuki Fujisawa. Has to hit this one really hard and move the rock almost sideways. Hits it, moves the Chinese stone, but not far enough. But it is a single point to the Japanese, so they close it up. China 4, Japan 2 after 6. Then in the 7th, Wang Binyu with a double takeout and an opportunity maybe to put the game away here. She makes the double, she's up 4, but a little bit wide. Hits it high side, blows it by the Japanese stone, and the Japanese steal one. So momentum changer here. Closing it up, it's a 4-3 score for China. Then on the 9th, a chance again for the Japanese. Very delicate weight shot here for Fujisawa. An opportunity to hit the Chinese stone and score 2, but a little bit heavy. Blows by and China steals one. Fujisawa knows that was a great chance to tie the game up. So China goes into the 10th with a 3-point advantage. Around the corner guards to go with the Japanese, but Wang Binyu runs them out of rocks and they take the victory.
So I returned to the Pacific Asia Championships after a few years break, and now you're in the final. How does it feel?
Oh, it's feel great, and today Japanese play very well, and I think that was a great game, and real great for us. Make the so confidence and going to the final, and the new team, and so happy for that. Mm-hmm.
Japan's a good team, but they seem to miss their chances today. Why do you think that is?
Always the missed shot is always happened. They miss a shot and we miss a shot. But I think we made the better shots, maybe just than them a little bit. So we win the game. And yeah, like my side, I think they are so strong, and we just focus on the rocks and focus on the end. So we win the game. Yeah.
Now we have Korea and China in the final tomorrow. Both teams are pre-qualified for the World Championships. Does that take the nerve away from the game, or should we expect an intense game?
I'm not sure, but I think it's no pressure for both teams, and I hope that's a great team too. Yeah.
Anything you want to say to your fans back in China?
今天对于我们来讲，我觉得这场比赛打得很好。对于一个新的队伍来，这是一个很好的一个经验。然后希望我们在决赛的时候也能打得很好。
Thank you.
Thank you.
So now our finals are complete. It's going to be Korea versus China in the gold medal match. It's going to be New Zealand versus Japan in the bronze medal match. An exciting day of curling here at the Pacific Asia Curling Championships 2016. The final games are set. They'll be played tomorrow. Men's semifinals coming up later tonight. It's been an exciting day of curling here in Uiseong. We hope you've enjoyed it. Thanks for joining us. On behalf of Sander Rovek, I'm Hans Fraunlob. On behalf of our whole production team here in Uiseong, thank you very much, and so long from Uiseong.